Hello, everybody. My name is Claudio. Flew in all the way from Mexico. My co-founders right there flew all the way from Argentina as well. Thank you very much. Really happy to be here in Istanbul, in Turkey, more so than anything, because it represents why we're building on crypto. And this is what I'm going to be talking to you today. So just to show our hands, who here has faced more than 20% inflation in their countries? 1, 2, 3, okay. 30%? No? There you go, Argentinian for sure. 40%? Argentinian for sure. 60? There. So when we started building in crypto, we first thought of who we're going to be building this for. And emerging markets for us is at our heart. So we'll tell you a story about it, but let's get this party started. So we're going to be talking about how to scaling communities, community impact with liquid staking tokens at the center of the strategy. So what is Metapool? Metapool is the first liquid staking token for Near Aurora. We just recently launched on Ethereum. And more importantly for us is it is fully owned by a DAO. We're putting community first. And this year what we've voted on is for all protocol fees from the liquid staking platform to be distributed to the community. We're going to be talking about that in a little bit of a while. So our roots, yes, like I said before, I've come from Mexico. My co-founder is from Argentina. And we had a long story about how to hedge against inflations. And this is the answer that we had for the last 50 years. Yes, sorry, it's not pretty. But this is how we hedge inflation. We went in, buy dollars, right? I've lived in the border all of my life. I'm from Tijuana. And so it's like easily, you go trade dollars, you go to the bank and you deposit them, and then that's how you hedge against inflation. That's how my dad did it. That's how his father did it. In Argentina, you used to be able to buy dollars. Now it's illegal. So how do we hedge against inflation? That's a big thing. That's what got us, Lucio and myself, together on a Discord, started talking, and he said, you know what? There's this thing called liquid staking. So how does Metapool work? It's a non-rebasing asset. We're right now live on Ethereum mainnet, on Near, which is where we got started, on Aurora, which is an EVM-compatible platform. We have an internal AMA, so that way we can do the fast liquid on staking. But most importantly is that the smart contract itself is the one dictating the price on the asset. So when you trade that asset, you're not losing your staking rewards. That's calculated immediately through the smart contract every second. So the big question here, right, is like, how do we onboard 1 billion people, right? Sorry, it's not going to come from Western countries. And actually, that's why I'm really excited to be here in Turkey, because this is going to be one of those regions where that billion user adoption will start, right? And for us, coming from Argentina and Mexico, well, we know that we are truly solving a problem. It's just, how do we have this value creation process that it's now fully on-chain, fully transparent online? Can we bring that to people from the different regions? So what is our goal, right? We understand, I think most of everybody here know what a liquid staking token is, right? I'm preaching to the choir. But one important thing is like, not all assets are flowing back into the ecosystem. And when I'm saying flowing back to the ecosystem, I'm not talking about just DeFi and all this degen stuff and the large whales coming in. I'm talking to the people who we are solving a big problem is how to hedge against inflation. The other thing is the accessibility and decentralization aspect as well, right? And Tenderize brought in a good comment, right? It's like we are having and facing the problem of different validator nodes or operator nodes cartels, right? And so I don't want to shoot or throw anybody under the bus, but it's a big problem that we're going to be facing. I believe that adoption in emerging markets will allow us to kickstart the decentralization process. Of course, it's going to be ants at a time, but I think that's the way to roll, right? Immobility, we already know a lot about this. That means that you're not leaving your tokens in one place. That's flowing back into the ecosystem. We believe that emerging markets are going to be a key part to make this work. Now, the adoption process. And this is where in emerging markets is a little bit different than in Western countries. Most importantly is centralized exchanges and fintechs are going to be a core part of it. And this is why we partner with Near to launch an enterprise node program because we understand that the custodial side and having centralized exchanges access to the underlying liquid staking tokens is going to be a key component in this. And so, again, happy to be partnered with a couple of the great ones here, right? Like Luga nodes, we have NordStake, we got Sensei node from Argentina, Friends from Berlin, Crypto Capable from India, A41 or All for One based in Korea, right? We're trying to do decentralization at the core, and more importantly, because this is how people are gonna have access to a liquid staking token. A little bit of our numbers, right? So we have around $23 million in TVL. We've started on Near, we moved to Aurora, we're now on Ethereum. We know that we are the new kid on the block, but we have a solid vision on how we want to scale Ethereum staking for the emerging markets. One important aspect here is that we are running fully on a DAO. Every decision that the protocol makes is dependent on the DAO voting. Right now, our governance is on Near. We're moving slowly but surely over to Ethereum. We're gonna leverage the Near blockchain operating system in order to bring decentralized frontends into that type of governance. But more importantly for us, we're focusing on how much delegation we can distribute. Right now, for example, on Near, we got 130 node operators that we're supporting. Over on Ethereum, we're using SSB networks, and we're using a cluster right now of four operators. And so we're slowly but surely keeping true to our roots, which is the decentralization aspect. How do you make it liquid? How do you get it accessible for folks? And it's going to be a mixture between centralized solutions, custodial services, and decentralization aspects. Now, another important aspect here is like, okay, where does this support come into an emerging market? How do we get this started? The DAO right now is supporting more than 28 projects on Near and Ethereum through different initiatives running by the DAO. So how do we get this started? Like I said before, right? We passed this on through a DAO voting. We're splitting all protocol fees on Near. 50% are going to go to people coming into the DAO, requesting funding for projects, initiatives that are hopefully, knock on wood, going to kickstart the growth of the protocol. The other 50% are for DAO governance participants. And we're distributing not governance tokens. We're distributing the underlying asset, which is a liquid staking token, STNear. For Ethereum, we're committing the first 2,000 ETH, 100% of the protocol fees are going to go back to the community. So we're putting our stake where our mouth is, and we're really pushing the boundaries on how a liquid staking token can put community front and center of everything we do. Now, again, like the more resources we have, the more we can distribute. We think that this is a sustainable loop we can create. We need your help to make it. Two crazy guys, one from Argentina, another one from Mexico, cannot do it alone. So it takes a village, and that's why we're here at Staking Summit. And that's why we partnered as well with Gitcoin. So we launched Gitcoin Round 18, I think it was in the summer. We supported 14 projects from Colombia, Argentina, Venezuela, Peru, Chile. We wanna scale this. So this is a little bit of the impact from our numbers from the DAO and from the Gitcoin as well. Collaborating with Refi, we believe that that's an important aspect. Education, again, how do we get those 1 billion users? Sorry, it's not gonna be too degening and doing this high stakes, high yields, because you need to understand that you're putting people's capital into play, and not everybody is and everybody's risk averse of that, because the small money that they have or capital they have, they cherish that, and we value that as well. We've onboarded more than 100 stakers. We've distributed more than $100,000 in different initiatives to support these projects, and we want to continue to do so. And this is the only way to do this through a village type of initiatives. Again, all voting on Metapool is done on chain. Nothing about going to a forum, going to a flame war there. Everything is on chain. You put your stake where your mouth is, and you put your delegation on where your mouth is as well, and that's active participation in an on-chain governance. So lessons in supporting emerging markets. You need to understand that at the end of the day, where value creation is happening. You need to map that out. You need to understand, okay, here is where I'm participating. Here is where value creation is happening. enable like new and current users to learn and deliver. Eye on the target always. What are your KPIs? Understand them. I've seen a lot of new projects here, and this is a little bit of the lessons learned that we had to do. Review results in 8 weeks. If nothing's happening, rinse and repeat. No worries. Like that's the name of the game. At the end of the day, you're building trust. Trust takes time. Select your partners wisely. At the end of the day, you're building these relationships and partnerships for the long haul. Some are not going to survive, but the others are going to take you to the next step. Sustainability is a few years ahead. Please be patient. So how do we make this sustainable, right? Yes, we partnered with SSB Networks. We're leveraging their incentives program. We right now have a 7% APY on Ethereum staking. So we're all open up for doors. We're here to talk shop, and we're here to deliver. Also, there's up and coming projects. We believe that stablecoins will be one of the main, I was going to say something related to Tijuana, but I'm not going to say it. But it's the carrot to bring him in. Sorry, not the gateway drug. So anyhow, stablecoins are a very important part of it because people will always be looking for dollars. That's the reality of our markets. That's the reality of our regions. And we believe that this technology, even though it's quite new, shows a lot of potential. And last but not least, we believe in a multi-chain strategy, in a multi-chain world. And that's why we're supporting EVM-compatible chains such as Q Network. We're launching a liquid staking token on their network. They're aligned to our philosophy behind DAOs, behind governance. We want to explore this. This is something that is very close to our hearts because our vision is for everything related to the Metapool DAO to be on-chain. Transparency is key because at the end of the day, you need to understand that even though it's going to be 0.01 ETH, which is the minimum that you can stake on Metapool, that means a day's work for somebody in an emerging market. And so we need to we're taking this into account. We're putting in their needs in order for us to build that trust and to not lose that. That is a big component of what we're going to be building for the next few years. And like I said, we're really interested in talking to every one of you. We have a booth right there. My co-founders right here if you want to talk shop from the technical side. And more importantly, thank you very much for today and for being bullish on emerging markets. The last opportunities. Hey, the best for last, right? LSTs are the simplest form of savings online for emerging markets, nonstop. A stablecoin will be the driving force of adoption. How would you support it? How will your programs or your projects support them? And this is a little bit of an invitation to all of you, right? I know many of you were saying, okay, this guy, Metapool, where the hell does he come from, right? So there are up-and-coming projects, DeFi projects in a lot of places like Africa, South and Northeast Asia. Look at them. There are big opportunities, low-hanging fruits in order for you and your company's organizations or DAO to grow. More importantly, understand that the first exposure in emerging markets are going to be to a centralized exchange or a fintech application because that's where people are more used to getting exposed to crypto assets. For example, in Argentina, you have Lemon Cash, right? You have Ripio, who have been there for more than 3 years. And so they're kind of like the gateway to those emerging markets. Peer-to-peer transactions are another key channel where folks get access to crypto. Look into them and study them. Yes, a big one is Binance. Yes, there should be more decentralized options for peer-to-peer transactions. Last but not least, yes, restaking, still out there, worth exploring. Heck yeah, because at the end of the day, you need to understand that these people are looking for those extra yield that they can get out of their assets because it's their hard-earned capital. And now with that, please join us in making emerging markets a big part of crypto through liquid staking. Thank you very much, everybody.